RSS decides to postpone protest march to appeal against the court order. This after the Madras High Court said RSS will be able to take out route marches on public roads only in 3 places, Kallakurichi, Perambalur and Kadalur districts, as permitted by the police. In the rest of the 41 places, the march could be conducted only within compounded premises such as grounds and stadiums. So, there was a request by the RSS to carry out a march in Tamil Nadu, and the court, after mulling over it, after all the intelligence inputs were taken into consideration, they said that most of the marches could be taken place. In fact, they only ruled out 3 places as those of concern. But the 41 places where they permitted the marches, those are the compounded ones, and only 3 places, Kallakurichi, Perambalur and Kadalur districts, it is allowed to take place in public roads. Joined by my colleague Purnima Murali. Purnima, very good morning to you. What is the reasoning given for this sort of order that's coming from the court?
Well, remember, the RSS had already decided to go ahead with the protest march on the 2nd of October. But the Tamil Nadu government said, considering the volatile situation, it's not appropriate for any sort of protest to take place. And the case was adjourned, and then the case was heard earlier this week when the Tamil Nadu government said that according to Intel reports, in 24 places, RSS cannot be given permission to go ahead with the protest. And the Madras High Court said they will read the Intel report and then come out with the final order. Yesterday, while passing the order, the Madras High Court said that RSS can conduct a protest march in 44 places, but only 3 of these 44 places are places where the RSS can carry out a protest march in public places, and in the remaining 41 places, RSS can conduct it indoors, which means it could be a ground or a stadium. And the RSS today held a meeting to challenge the Madras High Court order because they don't want to conduct a protest indoors. They want to conduct it at public places, and therefore they will now appeal to the higher court and challenge the Madras High Court verdict that gave permission for the RSS to carry out a protest march in 44 places. But of these 41 places, they are only permitted to conduct these protest march indoors, and that has not gone down well with the RSS.
Well, Purnima, now the RSS is saying they're going to postpone this protest march, but could you take us through this protest march? How many RSS workers were expected to be marching, and what is the route that they wanted to take?
Well, this protest march will see tens of thousands of RSS cadre and RSS members from Tamil Nadu said that many top leaders of the RSS will also be coming for the protest march, and therefore they were planning to go big. At least tens of thousands of cadre have been expected to carry out these protest marches across Tamil Nadu, and they had decided on 50 locations. Considering that Coimbatore has been a very volatile district at the moment, apart from Coimbatore, police said that there are intel reports that there are other districts that are also in and around Coimbatore that are also not apt for any sort of protest to take place. And therefore, the Madras High Court, considering the kind of developments that have taken place, out of these 50 places, the Madras High Court said RSS can go ahead with protests in 44 places, but only 3 of these 44 places are chosen for the RSS to carry out their protests in public places. But it was covering every corner of Tamil Nadu as per the route that was decided by the RSS, which is why they've decided to challenge this, because they want to protest in public places and not protest indoors.
Purnima, after those blasts in Coimbatore on October 23rd, the state had more concerns about this march, and the police have been opposing this march despite the court orders.
Absolutely. If you look at Coimbatore, the probe is still on. There have been various documents that were seized by the police that speak about how many youths in Coimbatore have been radicalized. That's what police sources have told us. which is why right now any sort of protest, not just the protest organized by the RSS, but any sort of protest will create untoward incidents, is what the intel report says. And therefore, the police said that considering the developments that have taken place, considering the ongoing investigation by the NIA, it is not appropriate for any sort of protest to take place in Coimbatore, in Pollachi, in Mettupalayam and other places where the intel note says that all these districts are on high alert, and therefore protests of any sort should not be given permission. Which is why the RSS now wants to challenge the court and postpone its protest, because they want to protest in public places and not protest indoors.
Thank you, Purnima, for joining us this morning.